Good morning, everyone. It's Doug for Vermont Hoyas, and welcome to a visit with myself and Hoya burmanica. First, I want to thank a very kind woman from California for sending me 3 cuttings of this amazingly different plant. Mandy, I really appreciate it, and you're what made it possible for me to make this video. This plant really wasn't even on my radar. I'd never even heard of it. It seems to be closely related to Hoya ponderata, but the leaves are much more pointed and triangular looking, and the flowers are supposedly have a different morphology. So let's take a closer look at this plant. Now, apparently this is a very cool grower. This plant, I've rooted 2, one in soil and one in semi-hydro. This is the one in semi-hydro, which has grown insanely. But then almost overnight, I had like this catastrophe where probably 7 or 8 leaves turned like brownish and got paper. You can see what one of these bad leaves look like. Paper thin, and then a couple days later they just dropped off. So I don't know. The only thing I can suppose is the plant got too warm in a grow tent, or it was fertilizer burn or something, but I lost a number of leaves on this, so I still don't have a firm grasp on how to grow it. It seems to put out panicles at every node, and some of these fall off and some of them make it to term. You can see the buds on this one right here. Now, the odd thing is every photo I can see online of this plant, the flowers are yellow, but I want to show you this. This is a plant that's grown in soil, and you can see that it's very pinkish in color. It doesn't have the characteristic color of the bright yellow that I find in the photos online, but it could be totally my conditions, and it was grown under a powerful LED light, so that could have caused this flower to be a pinkish color. Also, I see online that they say there's no nectar with this flower, but this flower does have nectar after they've been open for a few days. Cute little flowers, but I'll be interested to see if I can get any of these other panicles to open on this other plant, if it indeed blooms yellow, because this one is grown in different conditions. This plant comes from Myanmar, which used to be called Burma, and that's why the name Hoya burmanica. So it's a very different looking Hoya. Look at how pointed these leaves are. Sharp, sharp, sharp. Hi everyone, I'm back with Hoya burmanica, and I think I finally figured out possibly how to grow this one. It is much trickier than I initially thought, and I have found that by growing it in a terracotta pot and only watering when thoroughly dry, the plant seems to like it. It's very susceptible to overwatering, but I finally have a healthy looking plant. I mean, when it's actually healthy looking, it's a quite a wonderful plant. It's covered with buds and flowers, which are probably not readily apparent. You can see some of them down there. At every node it forms a panicle and buds. But terracotta pots. I'm starting to grow a number of other problematic Hoyas that I've had trouble with in terracotta pots, and knock on wood, so far making out very well. So my experiment in growing this in semi-hydro failed utterly, but the terracotta pot seems to be the answer. But I'm really proud of that little plant right now. It just looks so healthy, which is really refreshing to see. Well, that's it. I thank you for taking the time and visiting with myself in Hoya burmanica, and I'll be back really soon with more great Hoyas and Hoya growing tips. Thanks again.